I'm here at the Hamptons International Film Festival for Fine Art Magazine. And I'm with Susan Rockefeller. Hello, Susan.
Hello, nice to meet you.
And she's with Nile Rogers.
Hi, Nile. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you
met
very
Susan
much.
a little earlier. And your film is?
Well, the film is called Striking a Chord, and it just played at the East Hampton Theater at 11:30. We had a great audience.
Amazing,
it was
yes.
fabulous, and it's playing again, screening again tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
And you're a philanthropist who brought a team or organized a team?
Well, I'm a producer and director, and
Correct.
we had Armed Forces Entertainment, which is a division of the Department of Defense, has an entertainment division where they bring sort of lower level bands, not the USO famous bands, but bands that you would typically hear in a small town.
Right, local bands.
Local bands.
What we used to call bar
Fabulous.
bands
Yeah,
in the
bar
old days.
bands is
Yeah,
what they essentially
fabulous.
are. But they're a step up. They just haven't made their break, I think. You know,
Okay.
it's just marketing is hard, and it's hard to get to the top. So we, my son, who is a drummer, his drum teacher went to Iraq with Nell Bryden, and that's the band that we followed to remote military bases. And he said that going over to Iraq changed his life. He never knew what our soldiers did. He had a newfound and profound appreciation for our soldiers and thought it would make a great documentary. Now, I was on the road promoting my other film that was an HBO film, did not think I was going to take on a project, and thought, I popped in the CD, I thought, this woman is talented, Nell Bryden, and it's a 10-day shoot, and Armed Forces Entertainment was going to fly them over. So I essentially had to get a camera crew and wrote out all the questions, figured out what sort of the idea was for the film, but you never, it's like the map is different than the territory, you never know till you get the footage. And in that process of organizing the project, I met with Nile, and his legendary song, We Are Family, became part of the larger idea of this film, that these soldiers come back with invisible wounds, and as a community, we really need to help them and understand what they've gone through, and they are part of our larger community.
I have a couple of questions. One is you traveled into Iraq and you filmed with your crews on location?
I was not in Iraq. I had 2 camera people go, and via internet went back and forth with them. I was on the road with my other film, so it was the first time I've ever done that.
Right.
And what was that film?
That film was called Making the Crooked Straight, which aired on HBO.
And when your crew was there, they were really, though, on the front lines with small groups of people entertaining the armed forces, if that's my understanding.
They were on military bases.
Okay, military bases.
And performing on remote military bases.
The key word is remote, though, correct?
It
I
is
was just
remote.
going to say,
Yes.
Because you don't...
They have to take Black Hawk helicopters to each
Correct.
site.
Okay.
They play. The troops are so happy to have a communal experience. You know, you think about the isolation of iPods. That doesn't create community and conversation. The idea is to get a band out to these places where they're starved for entertainment.
Well, it takes tremendous courage for the people who are doing this to go and perform. You must have put yourself on the line as a human being to get this project done at a certain level, which is never comfortable to do.
What you said was really was right on the money, because when you said the front line, these bases, these remote bases, as you'll see in the film, they're under fire all night.
Right.
I mean, so
They
because
were.
they're in the most. It's not the stuff that's on the news, you know.
Right.
It's, because obviously, it's, you know, this is the hardcore stuff. Because the bands that go to, you know, in the big USO shows are really famous and they're really well protected.
Right, correct.
So
correct.
these bands, these kids that do this, these entertainers are really brave, because they are in very remote outposts, and there's a powerful point in the film. I don't want to give it away, but
You
something,
have to see the film.
Yeah, something really heavy happens, and it's powerful.
Which happens at the end. But but just to know that what was really also quite moving was that the Colonel Scott Rainey, Lieutenant Colonel Scott Rainey, who is the sort of connective tissue as the voiceover in the film, he assured the band and me and the cinematographers that they would have the utmost safety. So they never were in armed vehicles on the ground. They took Black Hawk helicopters everywhere. So they really try to keep everybody safe.
I know that that's the goal, but this is war.
No, but I'm
and
just
there's
saying
a
that's,
tenor.
yeah.
But didn't one time weren't they going to drive? Didn't they have to drive somewhere?
Yeah, but they decided not to.
Oh, okay.
It has to be frightening. It really has to take a great deal of courage to commit to a project like this. There has to be a lot of heart that's put on the line in order to want to reach and contact people through such a song as yours, We Are Family. And this is a big statement because we all are connected and we all are united, no matter where we come from, no matter what our countries and our cultures are.
Right.
And it's important to keep humanity in what is a very inhumane situation.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the key. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
because it's whether it's our troops or it's the soldiers and the Iraqi soldiers, these wounds are so deep and they affect their wives, their families, their children. And it's the whole fabric of society that's affected. And the goal is really just to generate awareness and understanding of, you know, what these soldiers are doing and have the civilian population understand what they're coming back to, that it's a war that was not a draft war, it's a forgotten war, and we need to see how we can help them. And that's where music comes in, and Nile's music and the We Are Family Foundation.